And now, I have the privilege of introducing today's commencement speaker, Professor Tom Galligan. Professor Galligan holds the Dodson and Hooks Endowed Chair in Maritime Law and the James Huntington and Patricia Klein Peter Odom Professorship of Law. He teaches and writes about torts and admiralty. Professor Galligan began his academic career at LSU in 1986. During his first tenure here, the students named him Outstanding Professor 6 times. He would go on to serve as the Dean of the University of Tennessee College of Law and then as the President of Colby Sawyer College, a private liberal arts college in New London, New Hampshire, where he remained until 2016 when he returned here to Louisiana to serve as the Dean of the Law Center. He served as Dean until December 2019, at which time he was called upon by the Board of Supervisors to serve the university as interim president. The Board of Supervisors, in appreciation for his service, would ultimately retroactively remove the interim title and bestow upon him the rank of President Emeritus in 2021, just before he returned to us at the Law Center. He's a frequent continuing legal education speaker in areas of his expertise, having given more than 250 speeches and presentations to judges, lawyers, and others on subjects including torts, admiralty, complex litigation, professionalism, and more. In the aftermath of the Deepwater Horizon disaster, he testified 3 times before Congress considering amendments to the Death on the High Seas Act and other relevant maritime statutes. Professor Galligan holds his bachelor's degree in political science from Stanford University, a JD from Seattle University School of Law, where he graduated summa cum laude and first in his class. We are not surprised, are we? And an LLM from the Columbia University Law School. Thank you, Professor Galligan, for being with us today.
Good afternoon, and congratulations to the 2023 LSU Paul M. Hebert Law Center graduating class. I am honored that you asked me to say a few words on this auspicious occasion, and I thank you. But before I get rolling, I want to express a little more gratitude. In December 2019, Mary Werner, then the chair of the LSU Board of Supervisors, asked me if I would serve as interim president of LSU. I said yes, which meant that we would need an interim dean at the Law Center. At the time, it was my intention to serve as interim president for a few months and come back to the Law Center as dean. More on that later. But as I became interim president, my friend Stacey Haney, then LSU provost, asked Leanne Lockridge to serve as interim dean of the Law Center. I think Leanne, like me, thought she would do so for a few months. More on that later. Of course, what happened was I ended up being president for 18 months, and then at the end of that year-and-a-half sojourn, I decided I wanted to come back to the Law Center as a full-time faculty member. I wanted to once again do the job I had come here to do in 1986. Thus, Leanne ended up with the job of dean for 3.5 years. She has done the job way longer than expected, and she has been absolutely fantastic. Leanne's tenure has lasted throughout the pandemic, but in spite of the great challenges brought about by COVID, as we stand here today, our enrollment and scholarship support at the Law Center are both up. So are the median academic credentials of our incoming class. At the same time, we have enhanced our curriculum, expanded our clinical offerings, updated classrooms with new technology, and added a new courtroom. So thank you, Leanne. Thank you as a friend who got to do what he wanted because of your dedication, and thank you as a colleague who, like all of us here today, owe you big time. When future generations look up institutional service in the LSU history book, Leanne's picture will be there as the paradigm of an institutional servant. So please, everyone, join me in thanking Dean Leanne Lockridge. Okay, now for a commencement address. I've done this before, you know, but I really wanted this one to be special. Not too long, but special. So I started thinking, and I wasn't coming up with too much that I thought was special. I had some old speeches, and I got them out and started cutting and pasting. And I thought, this isn't special. I'm not gonna rehash. I was not satisfied, and I still did not have a speech. So I put my drafting task aside for a few days. I wrote some finals. Still no inspiration. I was getting antsy. Then I asked some of you, what should I talk about? And everybody said, COVID. After all, you are the COVID class. Now, LSU Law has many distinguished graduates, but none can say they've gone through quite what you have endured to reach this special day. Many of you in the LSU Law School class of 2023 missed your undergraduate graduations or attended them virtually. I think I congratulated some of you in this robe from my living room on video. I might have congratulated others in Tiger Stadium, where only I got to walk across the stage. I might have congratulated others a year later after you got your degree right here in the PMAC at one of our makeup ceremonies. But those weren't the same as a real graduation, although Tiger Stadium was pretty cool. Actually, it was cold, but I digress. You started law school on Zoom, or at least on Zoom part of the time and in class part of the time. You went through spikes and improvements and spikes again. You did Zoom moot court competitions. The fall of your second year was only marginally better than your first year, and even last spring in some of your classes, the first 3 weeks were still remote. Again, let me repeat, nobody went through what you went through. But as I wrote that version of this speech, I realized everybody at every graduation in America this spring is getting some variant, I use the word in a friendly way, of that speech. So the COVID theme alone wasn't doing it for me. Frustrated, I shut down my computer and I went out for a walk. Nervously walking, I honestly admitted to myself what I knew, that while you would be here sitting in the PMAC listening to me like you are, you really wouldn't be listening at all. You'd be fidgeting around because you have all this energy and you want to get up here and cross this stage and get your degree, and if I don't give a great speech, you are going to forget it by 3 o'clock this afternoon. Ugh, or some such thing. I said to myself, this was not consolation. And then a song began playing on my phone and rang through my ear pods. Yes, even an old man like me has ear pods. It was Steve Earle and the Dukes. Good old Steve Earle. For those of you who don't know him, Steve Earle is a singer, songwriter, and commentator whose music is a combination of country, rock, alt, Celtic, bluegrass, folk, and blues. It's kind of iconic Americana. And he's basically my age, and he's also kind of bald. Anyway, the song that came on, one of my favorites by him, was I Ain't Ever Satisfied. It's one of Steve Earle's pre-jail songs. Yes, he spent some time in jail, which of course validates him as a country singer. Now, I Ain't Ever Satisfied is about a guy who just can't seem to find anything he's looking for in life. And it doesn't seem to bother him. A little bit of sociopath going on maybe. But anyway, the song's narrator was born by the railroad track. When the train whistle wailed, he wailed right back. Then the singer's father walked out on the family. Later in life, the singer left a wonderful partner for someone who was not true to him and then left him. But none of it bothers him. And in the last verse, Steve Earle nails it. He sings, I've got an empty feeling deep inside. I'm going over to the other side. And then music. Then he goes on. Last night I dreamed I made it to the promised land. And the chorus sings, I ain't ever satisfied. I was standing at the gate and I had the key in my hand. I ain't ever satisfied. You getting it? St. Peter said, come on in, boy, you're finally home. I ain't ever satisfied. I said, no thanks, Pete. I'll just be moving along. You get the picture. And then Steve Earle sings the chorus again. Whoa, 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 I ain't ever satisfied. Whoa, 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 I ain't ever satisfied. I get it. The narrator of the song wasn't satisfied. But out walking that day, I was, because I finally had a theme for this talk and I had an idea. Now, some of you may think the theme, not being satisfied, is crazy and downright inappropriate. A commencement speaker should tell you to be happy, be content, be proud of what you've done. But what I am going to tell you is don't be content, don't be satisfied, keep after it. So that's my theme. I ain't ever satisfied. But like I said, I also had an idea. We are going to do something commencement speakers don't usually do with their audiences. And since this is the COVID class, we're going to do something we could not do during COVID. And it is going to make up for an experience you missed. Your law school orientation, you may recall, was virtual. I don't remember that. Dean Carroll told me about it. I don't remember about your orientation because I was running around like a nut trying to make sure that LSU could reopen the entire campus of 35,000 plus our 7 other campuses. I apologize for not paying attention, but I digress. Back to you. Usually at law school orientation, Dean Henry loosens everyone up by having one side of the auditorium yell, "Go," and the other side yell, "Tigers." You missed that. And no, we're not going to do that. But we are going to do something sort of similar. In spring 2020, we learned about a choir somewhere in America who all got COVID. Later, we learned the germs were spreading through the air and the singing together passed the virus from one person to the other. That stopped a lot of people from singing for a while. Well, friends, today we are going to put those days behind us. We are going to sing. Yes, that's right, we are going to sing. Yes. Now, I've said I've given a bunch of commencement addresses, but I've never sung one. And here's the thing, if you don't participate, then it is not going to work. And as my friend Steve Sinoski gently warned me, I will be a big flop. And come on, you don't want to see an old man fail. And you don't want to just listen to me babble. Plus, this is going to burn off some of that energy that you're all feeling right now. So here's how we're going to do this. I'm going to talk a little bit, I promise, just a little bit, and then I'm suddenly going to go, whoa, 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 and you will sing, I ain't ever satisfied. Not all at once, all right? Okay, you got it? Practice. Now, Steve also told me when people sing in public, they need permission from their neighbor to sing. So please turn to your neighbor and say, sing, all right? Sing. Yeah, and I see you're thinking, I can't carry a tune. This is just screaming, really. So, all right, we're going to practice. Whoa, 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 whoa. One more time. Whoa, 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 whoa. You got it and you did it. Now, you should not be the only ones in this place doing this, okay? Family, faculty, friends, you all have energy to burn. So get ready. Ready? Whoa, 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 whoa. One more time. Whoa, 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 whoa. Y'all sound great, so now we are ready to have a real commencement address. Graduates, you started law school under the worst possible circumstances. What you went through, to use a word only lawyers used before 2020, was unprecedented. You were more isolated than any law school class ever. You could not form study groups the way other classes have. You could not be in class together all the time, as Dean Lockridge has said, learning and interacting with your faculty. You did not have happy hours and GIFs and other social interactions. At least you were not supposed to have happy hours, GIFs, and other social interactions. You were constantly concerned, as we all were, about infection and illness and worse. You worried about your family and friends, and some of you lost family and friends. You could have quit. You could have said, I can't do this, I'm going to defer. But you didn't. You kept going. Something inside you pushed you to succeed. There was a drive inside, maybe a little stubbornness. You weren't going to settle. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Now, I'm lucky enough today, I see my friend, retired Chief Justice Burnett Johnson in the audience. She's Nia's grandmother. The chief is sitting with her family and with the York family, and for Ryan York's family. And the chief, along with Camille Gray, 55, 56 years ago, started this law school as the first two African-American female law students at the LSU Law Center. Chief, you've told me, but I can't imagine what you went through. The prejudice, the isolation, the loneliness, the discrimination, the anger. You could have quit, but you didn't quit. You graduated, became, with Judge Gray, the first two female African-American graduates of the LSU Law Center. You went on to a great career as a lawyer, as a judge, the first African-American Chief Justice of the Louisiana Supreme Court. And I don't know if you're a Steve... And I don't know if you're a Steve Earle fan or not, but you sure got the sentiment. So for the chief, whoa, 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 whoa. Now, when you pass the bar, you will also be an officer of the court. That sounds ministerial, but it is way more than that. If I can borrow from the Marvel universe, you will be a guardian of the galaxy of justice. It is up to you and all of us as lawyers to keep that ideal of justice in mind. Justice requires fairness. We have to work to make the system fair. How can you do that? Get involved with organizations promoting justice, rights, and the rule of law. And do what my friend John Devlin would tell you to do. Take pro bono cases. I cut my litigation teeth on pro bono cases. Remember those who could not otherwise represent those who could not otherwise afford an attorney. And constantly ask yourselves, is the system fair? How can it be better? And keep working for that better, fairer system. Like Michael Jackson said, don't stop till you get enough. Don't give it up. And when you feel tired, please think of today and hum a few bars one more time. Friends, let's burn that energy. Whoa, 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 whoa. Now, I remember when I graduated from law school. I was actually the student speaker at my commencement, so today is taking me back. Anyway, I reflected that day on how lucky I was to have been given the opportunities I had. I thought about how lucky I had been to attend a great high school, a fabulous college, I admit I could have attended the class part more, and a wonderful law school. My parents and teachers had given me an awful lot. Many of you probably have not had all the opportunities I did, and you have overcome much to be here. You have made your own opportunities. I respect that. And I want everyone to be able to have the opportunity to do what all of you have done if they want to. And while it shouldn't be easy, it shouldn't be impossible, and it should be affordable for all. And until those opportunities are real for everyone, whoa, 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 Now, I don't know if you have noticed, but our nation and our world are pretty polarized these days. I was born in 1955. I know I don't look it. I was born in 1955. I lived through the 60s and the 70s, and we were pretty divided then. But if you pardon a reference to a dated TV show, America was like the Waltons back then compared to today. Now, America has been extremely polarized before. They called it the Civil War. But our job as lawyers includes being able to talk to people who hold positions different than ours. And professionally, we are supposed to be civil to them. And some of you will be judges, and you will have to decide cases where the parties will be diametrically opposed on the facts, on the law, and on philosophy. The point is that it is our job to listen to both sides or multiple sides. We don't have to agree, but we can't storm out of the room. We have to listen. We can't be like the reporter in my favorite author John Irving's most recent novel, who ignored what he didn't want to hear. We can't ignore what we don't want to hear. Willa Cather expressed the same idea a little differently in Death Comes to the Archbishop. In referring to a group of people, she said, they had not room in their minds for two ideas. Well, friends, we have to keep two ideas in our mind at the same time, and they will often be two or more competing or inconsistent ideas. On top of all that, we've got some pretty serious stuff to deal with. Serious and dangerous weather events are more and more common. Mass shootings are a tragic regular occurrence. There is an ongoing ground war in Europe. There are revolts in Sudan. I could go on and on and on, but it is pretty clear people need to get along better to tackle those things. We have to face facts, and we have to be able to talk. And I would challenge us, you and me, to be part of the process of getting others to try to process two ideas at once and not ignore something they don't, at first blush, agree with. Now, before we do our last little sing-along, I have one final rant. Like I told you before, I was the student speaker at my law school graduation. As I also told you before, this experience is causing me to flash back a little. And as I do and listen to myself, and look, there I am. As I listen to myself, I realize that in many ways, I am the same person today as I was when I gave that speech in 1981. Coincidentally, I went to my 50th high school reunion 2 weeks ago. I know I don't look it. And realized that in many ways, I'm the same person today as the 17-year-old who graduated from high school in 1973. My wife, Susan, in my torts classes, we call her Sue for short, she says that me being the same person is a comment on my emotional maturity, but she still loves me. So I am the same, but in oh so many ways, I'm not the same. There is no way in 1981, when I gave that law school speech, that I would have had the chutzpah or the confidence to get you to sing along. And in the intervening years, I've become a husband, a lawyer, a father, a grandparent. I have lost a child. I have lost my parents and many friends. I've practiced law. I've taught law. I've been a dean. I've been a college president. I've been a dean again. I've been a president again. And now I'm a law professor again. I have run marathons, walked across Maine, and written unpublished novels. They're really good. So while I am still Tom Galligan, I am even today becoming someone new. I am evolving. You will evolve too. Go with it. Enjoy it. Fall in love. Have your heart broken. Take risks. Be safe. Travel. Live large and bring joy to others. To get literary one more time, let me quote from Derry Girls, Season 2, Episode 2. You only get one life, so savor this one life. Apologies to anyone who believes in reincarnation. You only get one life, so savor it, and if you are not savoring it, demand more, do more, because until your life is full, one more time, whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. All right, thank you for indulging me. I hope you have burned off some energy. I hope maybe you enjoyed it a little bit. I will close by returning to something I said earlier. Sometimes you have to be able to keep two ideas in your head at the same time. Sometimes you can reconcile them and sometimes you can't. I have tried to impress upon you that there are benefits to you and others if you sometimes say to yourself, I ain't ever satisfied. But in closing, I want to contradict myself. Today, as you celebrate this great milestone in your lives with your classmates and loved ones, be satisfied. You have all, each and every one of you, accomplished something very special. Tomorrow you can change the world, but today be satisfied. Congratulations and thank you to the one and only LSU Law Center class of 2023.